All right, everyone. A couple days ago, there was a massive steam explosion at Biscuit Basin in the Yellowstone caldera, Yellowstone National Park. Some people flipping out and saying, "Oh my God, now she's gonna blow. The super volcano is gonna blow its top." Now, let me say something. Yellowstone eventually is going to blow its top, and it's going to make an enormous crater and kill many, many people, assuming humanity is still around by the time that it blows up. It will fill the sky with noxious gases and dust and soot, and that will unfurl around the Earth, probably causing a mini ice age, etc., 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 and a large part of the North American continent will temporarily be uninhabitable. Although I would say that all of the mineral powder that goes into the soil will actually make it more fertile long term. So it's not going to be the end of humanity. We'll probably end ourselves anyway in the next couple of centuries. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. That this is not indicative that Yellowstone itself, like the whole caldera, is imminently going to blow up. These steam explosions do happen. They're not necessarily common, but they do happen. It's something that occurs once in a while. It's happened in our lifetimes. You know, sometimes people probably, there's nobody around. It happens at night, and all of a sudden the park rangers show up, and there's a little crater there, and they're like, oh, well, I guess this one popped off. I'd like to address the footage. Link in the description, you can see it for yourself. It is impressive. If you're near a geyser, and all of a sudden it blows up, half a mile into the air, and there's fucking rocks coming out and shit like that, you need to run away a little bit faster and focus a little bit less on trying to record it. I would have gotten much further away much more quickly, because you may not even see some of those golf ball sized rocks whizzing through the air. I'm surprised that nobody was apparently injured seriously in this event. There are people that were almost right next to it when it went off. Wisely, of course, they retreated away from it. I would have retreated further. But in this age of, YouTube and Instagram and stuff and TikTok, people, they want to record everything around them. It's like, with presidential assassinations. We have a few angles of the JFK assassination. We have like 50 fucking angles of the Trump attempted assassination. So there can be conveniences there. When you're trying to get closure on a criminal case, it's a little bit better. Make sure to respect the geysers, because they can actually do this. They can pop off. I've never understood, by the way, in this little ramble of mine, the allure of Yellowstone. It's been hyper-developed. It's full of fucking tourists. It's a tourist trap. And wall-to-wall bullshit. It's not really even nature at all. I hate it because they say, well, we're trying to conserve this area because it's a thing of natural beauty. Yeah, and it's wonderful that people get to go and see that beauty, but then they spoil it, basically. It's like they're making hiking trails up back. It's a really scenic area. Is very enjoyable, but you're kind of ruining part of the enjoyment because now people are going to pour in to go walk their dogs, to go take a shit and stuff like that. By the way, the new path up to the ball field that connects to all those trails, by the way, is literally right next to my house, which is pretty cool, actually. The scouts go up there and shit like that. Having a little more activity in the neighborhood is kind of nice. It's nothing terrible, but then a little bit of activity becomes a lot of bit of activity, and then that becomes a problem. Pretty soon they'll be building a parking lot or something like that. That song, They Paved Paradise and Put Up a Parking Lot? I don't like the song, but I do like the message. The Yellowstone explosion is not indicative that the caldera itself is imminently going to go up in smoke. If it does, well, you're not going to get a video about it because there will probably be some internet outages going on. Oh, you'd survive this far out, but the explosion would cause a massive, massive earthquake off the Richter scale and cause enormous structural damage thousands and thousands of miles away. We'd be getting a little bit of shaky. Hell, probably the whole world would ring like a bell at that point. You might have like 7.0 damage over in Europe based on an explosion that large. It'd be like being, imagine 100 nuclear weapons going off at the same time in the same place, 100 Tsar bombers. It'd probably be a little bit deleterious for the world and civilization. Wouldn't be deleterious for nature, though, because it's happened before. It's just that mankind would suffer because we're so reliant on electronics. So thankfully, this explosion is, again, they do happen. This is a very geologically active area. What happened is that some magma surged up into an area that's connected to effectively water. The whole area, why do you think geysers happen in the first place? You've got water, and then you've got a lot of heat. And so it creates steam. Why do you think Old Faithful goes off every once in a while, fairly regularly? There's a reason it has its name. This one was in Biscuit Basin, though. The Biscuit Basin geyser. One of the lesser known ones. Personally, I think that they should not have walkways that close to the fucking geysers. You may want to move them back a little bit, because you could have a bigger explosion than this, by the way. The supervolcano doesn't need to go off for you to have a geyser go off like an atom bomb. People don't seem to realize this. It's like going to be a once in a 1,000-year event. Well, that could be tomorrow, effectively. So respect the fucking geyser's distance. I wouldn't want to be on the fucking walkway that close to a geyser. Are you fucking insane? Yeah, it's interesting. There's water spurting up out of the ground. Sometimes it's colorful. Sometimes a tourist falls in or tries to swim in it, not realizing that it's scalding hot and dies. And then they don't recover the body. I mean, their flesh just melts right off their fucking bones, and like they're a stewed chicken, and then their bones just go down into the abyss, basically. Don't swim in the geysers either. The fact that it looks placid doesn't mean it is. And also it could be massively acidic and literally melt you. Like even your bones will melt. There won't be a skeleton to ever recover. You're effectively chemically cremating yourself. I don't understand going to Yellowstone. No, if I want to go see natural beauty, I'll walk out behind my backyard and I'll go up into the woods. There's all sorts of swamps, there's hills and trees and all sorts of other wonderful things. That's enough beauty for me. Out of my garden, If I want to be more civilized, I just sit out there. So don't worry about the caldera. It's not imminently going to explode. It could explode in our lifetimes. We're on the right estimated date range where it should go off at some point in the reasonable future, but you're talking about tens of thousands of years as that reasonable future. Could be tomorrow, it could be when your grandchildren are elderly, or it could be that humanity doesn't even exist by the time that it pops off. Maybe we get space rabies first. That's about all. Peace out.